On your program, there's a note there on brief history. And if you look at the family tree, this our ancestors, J.R., which is James Russell Mann, and Eula Lanier Mann, they only had 10 children. J.R., James Russell, was one of 14 who lived. He had 13 sisters and brothers, but he had also a stepmother. He was the second oldest. James Russell was the second oldest in that family. And his mother's name was Satary. Beautiful name, S-A-T-A-R-Y, Satary. And she died fairly early. And John Franklin Mann, you've seen the picture with the guy with the long beard who surrendered during the Civil War, War of the Confederate States. That was John Franklin Mann, and he was born in this county just north of here in 1845, as far as we can tell. But he did not surrender Vicksburg like has always been mentioned back and forth in the family. He actually was surrendered he was captured. And this information comes about from all the research that's been done by Susan Dragoni, whose husband, the Big Dragon, is sitting in the back.
The Big Dragon.
Pennsylvania, hoping to relocate to Tallahassee, Alabama soon, hopefully. But Susan has done a tremendous amount of research and located some things that we're real proud of, and some of them that I won't tell you about. But Susan can tell you a lot of things.
Well, I guess you know who I am already.
John, after this is going to be Courtney.
Gonna hold it up here?
The Courtney family reunion.
So I'm Susan Mann Reunion. I am the granddaughter of B.R. and the daughter of Robert and Mel Mann. And I first got interested in doing family history probably 15 years or so ago when I was taking some college courses. And it was American history and world history, and I had a choice of doing a book report, reading a book on something like the Russian Revolution, and writing a book report, or doing a family history. So the family history won out. So I talked to Mom and Dad, and I got a lot of information about their families, and I started putting it all down. And then Aunt Kay, Howard's wife, and Mother talked about the family history, and so the next thing I knew, I got a packet of information from Kay. So all of this information in the back is what I have been able to come up with from what she gave me. And what I would like for everyone to do is search those dusty boxes in the attics, in the basements, or wherever. And if you come across some documents, pictures, stories, send me a copy. If you've noticed the address list, I'm keeping up that too as well. I'll have it on file, and if anybody wants it, I can email it to them or I can print out a copy. So I'm going to try to keep that up to date so that we can all keep in touch with each other. So I guess that's about it. So just keep those stories and pictures coming, and do please go and look at the information. It's very interesting.
Thanks, Susan.
We have two visitors in the house that came down here with my daughter and her husband, Joe Repass and Nancy Repass. Stand up.
Hey.
Two handsome children. Very good friends of ours. I guess that, could you, John? Right after Billy it says Arthur. Thank you, John. Arthur Mann's family. Dale. Oh, this Dale.
What did I do it like this? Okay. We haven't had any deaths, we haven't had any births, we haven't had any graduations. kind of a nothing happening year for us. My daughter that's normally here has had some pretty serious surgery, but she's starting to get better now. Or she would be here. Beth wanted to be here and couldn't come, so That's about it with us. We just didn't have a very eventful year.
Jesse and Damon had no children, but they sure contributed a lot to our Mann family. Working with cousins and anybody that needed help, got an awful lot from Jesse and Damon, let me tell you. They did a lot with the music. Jesse was good with that, but Damon could do a little bit of dancing and kick around and all those kinds of things. It was interesting. And at one time there was a Mann band and Atkins sisters that used to do dancing and that kind of thing. And Lori said that was tough. They used to go to schools at night. So we would get home to 12:30, 1 o'clock. So that's tough to get up and go to school the next day. But they kept on going and doing. And but as I said, anytime anybody needed help, they got it from Damon and Jesse. So bless them.
Lynn, Mann, Arthur's on the way up. I promise I didn't plan it this way.
Well, as probably most of the older ones know anyway, Uncle Glenn was number 12 in the family, and he worked for my dad and brother at Piggly Wiggly as a meat cutter. He had other jobs in between. He worked for CCC as a young man, just trying to make a living. But he married Lily Mae Fuller, and they had one son named David. But Glenn's health got bad, and he passed away. I believe Lily Mae and David might have lasted about a year later. Wasn't much, but they were very sweet, fine people. Some of them, I don't know if any of you other girls know, but Aunt Lily Mae could cut hair. I never went to the beauty parlor when I was growing up. I just went over to Aunt Lily Mae and she cut my hair. She was real sweet. She was a special lady, and they were much loved.
And last Howard, John want to say a little bit.
John, Mom was in her something. Well, that's right.
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that Mom's heritage is well known. I always just perfect thing to say. And she had gorgeous gray hair. And then they all the years she had nobody else speak her. You didn't. Well, I had the microphone. I'm sorry, I'm negative. I should have passed on the message to from Stan, and he wanted to be here so bad, but he is having a lot of hip trouble, hard to walk, and afraid to get on a plane or a car when it comes. He gives you his love, he sends you his love, and he misses Sue so much that it's really been hard. But call him when you can, get his number, and he said, I want to be there so bad. And I was hoping that somebody would bring him down.